Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. As you know, I usually do most of the teaching here on the channel, but today I wanted to do something a little bit different. Well, I'm super excited because I had the opportunity to collaborate with 5 amazing drummers who are all top figures in the drumming community. So we have Carlin Muccular, Louie Palmer, Justin Scott, Stanton Moore, and my good friend, JP Bouvet. So each one of them will be sharing a practice tip that has revolutionized their playing. These guys are not only incredible musicians, but also great educators. So I hope you find their insights as inspiring as I did. And if you want to dive deeper into the concepts that they discussed in this video, there's a detailed PDF linked in the description box. All right, without further ado, let's get right into the concepts.
Guys, what's up? It's Carlin Muccular, and today I want to show you my #1 exercise that will help you play cleaner drum fills and play more creative chops on the drums, okay? Now let's get right into it. So this exercise is simply right, left, kick, left, right, kick. It's kind of like dribbling the ball with both hands, okay? Now, as an exercise, you can play it as a 16th note exercise, and as a chop, it will become like a 32nd note thing, okay? So let's just get right into it. Here we go. Guys, so I just demonstrated the pattern as a 16th note exercise. Now, what would it sound like as a type of 30-second chop? Let's see. Okay, guys, so that's the pattern as a 30-second note type of chop. So what would it sound like if I was just freestyling, just a bunch of fancy chops? Okay guys, so today I've shown you this pattern as a 16th note exercise in a 30-second note chop. Guys, so the last thing I want to say is I believe every drummer should be able to play whatever they can think of. And that doesn't mean a bunch of 30-second notes. If you're a pocket drummer, I believe that you should be able to pop out of the pocket, play a nice clean drum fill, whatever you can think of, and then pop right back into the pocket. For a pocket drummer, that drum fill may be a nice clean 8th note feel and you're jumping right back in the pocket. But whatever you do, it should sound nice and clean, okay? Use this pattern as a building block to build your independence, build nice clean 8th note, 16th note drum fills, or 30-second note chops, okay? If you slow this down to 50 BPM, I promise you it will become an extreme pocket builder, okay? So it's not just a chop for all the fancy drummers out there, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Just want to show you that right quick. Thanks again. I'm Carlin Muccular. Thanks for watching.
So if I had to talk about one practice technique that really helped me progress and take my playing to the next level, it would be to do with how I practiced. And more specifically, separating pad practice from drum practice. And what I mean by that is not just a single rubber practice pad like most drummers have and that they noodle on and don't really achieve much, in my opinion. I mean building a little pad kit with at least 2 pedals. I see some pad kits out there, people using with just 1 pedal and then their left foot's doing nothing. That's crazy. Like, even if you don't play double pedal, there's so much that the hi-hat should be doing and can do within your drum set playing that you need 2 pedals, and to not ignore your left foot, have 2 hand pads minimum so that your right hand can replicate a ride or a hi-hat. And so much of your drumming practice, like 80% of your practice, can be done on pads, and you don't need the volume of the drums, you don't need to be in the same location. It's distracting. We're all guilty of it, coming to the drums to practice a specific thing or many things, and then you end up noodling, and because you want to play. It's understandable. We're sitting at this instrument with all the different sounds and we want to have fun and play. But if you separate the two, there's so much you can get done in the mornings or the evenings or whenever your downtime is, maybe at home. And then when you get to the drums, you're so much more free mentally, and you can practice the end product stuff, the musical stuff, the grooves, time and feel, your sound, vocabulary, stringing phrases together, playing to music, learning tunes, whatever it might be, because you feel like you've got so much done elsewhere, versus getting to the drums and just being overwhelmed with, I got to practice my sight reading, and then I should do some hand technique and foot technique, and it's just all too overwhelming. So I found huge benefit from separating the two and getting all the foundational stuff done on pads separately, and then getting to the drums and practicing music. So give that a try. I hope it helps.
Hey, Justin Scott here. I want to tell you about one of my favorite technique exercises. So I've looked into a lot of different material on technique, studied a lot of great drummers, great educators, and I've done a lot of just exploring of the subject on my own. So I didn't really learn about proper hand technique until I was like 19 or 20 when I first saw Jojo Mayer's DVD on hand technique. And that DVD was just packed full of tons of incredible information. But I think the thing that had the biggest effect on my technique was Jojo Mayer's valving technique or valving exercise. So this is an exercise that you do in French grip, and the idea is you can hold the fulcrum of the stick either with pointer and thumb or your middle finger and thumb. I tend to do both. And then you use just one finger at a time to propel the stick. So you start with just the pointer finger, and then the middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. The ring finger and the pinky feel by far the worst. If you've never used those fingers, it can feel really awful at first to do this. But you just want to spend a decent amount of time with each finger, and then you just want to get to a point where you can cycle between the fingers without changing the speed or the dynamics of the notes you're playing. So the goal with valving technique is to develop all of your fingers evenly. That way they split the work evenly, and you have that much more stamina in your hands to play for long periods of time. Developing my fingers individually and getting the ability to play the stick just using my fingers was extremely helpful. Even when I play in American grip, I'm still using my fingers to propel the stick. And I wouldn't be able to do that had I not first developed my fingers inside of French grip using valving technique. A number of years after learning valving technique, I saw a lesson that Antonio Sanchez did where he was playing off of his ride cymbal, and he would just hold the stick between pointer and thumb. None of the other fingers could touch the stick, and he would bring the stick all the way back and then throw the stick at the cymbal and then let the natural rebound pull the stick back. And he would just kind of sit there and dribble the stick, letting it come all the way back every time. So this was a great way to learn how to keep the fulcrum of the stick in the same place no matter what angle the stick's at. So I incorporated this exercise into valving technique. I would start with the Antonio Sanchez kind of exaggerated stick motion, and then eventually drop down and then cycle through the fingers with valving technique. And I've also found it extremely useful to just work on this type of thing even without playing anything, just getting to the point where I can consistently keep the stick in one spot, moving back and forth, because the stick really wants to slide one way or the other. While you're getting used to this, you kind of have to get used to the stick flying out of your hand all the time. So if you've never tried these exercises before, I recommend giving them a try. I think you'll be really happy with the results. Big thanks to Juan Carlito for inviting me to share today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you later.
I want to mention 3 books that really have helped me in internalizing things and practicing, and that's what we're doing when we're practicing, is trying to internalize and really synthesize that mind-body connection of whatever it is that we're working on. So the books that have really helped me are this Inner Game of Tennis, written by W. Timothy Galway. The other book that has really helped, and I can't recommend this book enough, is The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. He really goes into the scientific process of the myelin wrapping around the neurons and the neurological process of developing something new, a new skill, and developing that mind-body synthesis when you're practicing whatever it is that you're practicing, but in this case, especially drumming. And the third book that really has helped me in my practice is Benny Grebb's Effective Practicing for Musicians. And he talks about these previous two books that I just talked about. But those three books, Inner Game of Tennis, The Talent Code, and Effective Practicing for Musicians, if you really want to get serious about your practice, I cannot recommend these three books highly enough. For me personally, I made this progress tracker that talks about what you're practicing, what date you're practicing it on, and then for me, the BPM. So I can know, okay, I practiced this on this day and I got it up to this BPM cleanly. And then that really helps me keep track of things. And for me, really focusing on only practicing something for 20, 25 minutes and realizing that you reach a point of diminishing returns. And they really talk about that within this book, The Talent Code. And this is the whole Pomodoro effect of taking that tomato timer, and in Italian, Pomodoro is Italian for the tomato. So these tomato timers focus on 25 minutes, and after 25 minutes, you reach a point of diminishing returns. So having this progress tracker and knowing that, okay, I practiced this for 20, 25 minutes, it's time to move on to my next thing. If you have an hour to practice, I recommend practicing something for 20 minutes and then moving on. Otherwise, you start reaching a point of diminishing returns. And you really get the mind-body synthesis overnight when you're sleeping on things, when you are doing other things in your day, making coffee, driving to wherever it is you've got to go to. That's when your mind and your body really synthesize these things. And this book really talks about that in detail. That's why I recommend this book. But I recommend practicing something for 20 minutes, then moving on to something else. If your day works that you have 20 minutes in the morning, then you have 20 minutes around lunch, 20 minutes in the evening, I recommend practicing 3 different things. Or if you have an hour to practice those 3 different things all at once, I still only recommend practicing for 20 minutes on any individual thing and then moving on to something else. So as I was saying, this progress tracker has really helped organize my practice, and that has helped me to kind of stay organized, stay on point, no matter what it is that I'm practicing. I put it into this progress tracker, and then I start in slow motion. So if you want to get your copy of this progress tracker for free, you can just click the link and download this PDF, and you can start tracking and organizing your progress in your practice. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for tuning in.
I'll give you one piece of practice advice to make your drumming more creative. It would be to always search for creative options, even with the simplest stuff. Let's take a simple pattern, the double stroke roll. It's hard to make the double stroke roll really useful on the drums creatively, but one thing you could do is remove hands. So right, right, left, left, right, 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 left, 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 left. So I'm muting either the right double or the left double. At random, this gives me a creative option. And that's something that's actually going to be useful on the drum set. You do the same thing with, let's say you learn a pretty intricate linear groove. Don't stop at just the pattern. We always want creative options. First option, lowest hanging fruit, orchestration. I could just move my hands around. But I could also change the pattern itself. I don't have to change the whole pattern though. Just look at the beginning. Instead of an inverted double, I could play a different melody. And then leave the rest of the beat the same. If you do this a few times, you'll start to build quite a lot of creative variations. You can actually start improvising around the original pattern. Happy practicing.
Well, I hope you dug these practice tips from these amazing individuals. I want to give a huge shout out to Carlin Muccular, Louie Palmer, Justin Scott, Stanton Moore, and JP Bouvet for sharing their tips with us today. Honestly, it is such an honor to have them on my channel, and I hope you all learn something new and feel motivated to apply these tips in your own playing. Also, if you're looking for more details or a breakdown of the concepts discussed, I put together a PDF which is linked in the description box. Be sure to check that out. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a comment letting me know which tip resonated with you the most. Thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.
If you got some value out of this video, please consider buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Juan Carlito Mendoza.